People, deluded, I'm back again. Thank you very much for tuning in. Thank you very much for tuning in live. Thank you very much for tuning in, Arsenal fans that obviously tuned in, obviously seeing the 1-0 victory. I'd love to say 1-0 victory, 1-0 defeat. Apologies to Leicester City. With that, they finally end a barren run playing us at home. Congratulations to Leicester City. You know, I think Brendan Rodgers did a number on Mikel Arteta. We'll get into it, but you know, man to a man, they did their job. Leicester deserved the 3 points. They go back up to the Midlands or wherever Leicester technically is, laughing, folks, because as expected, they took care of business. They did what they needed to do. You know, they've been on a losing run in typical fashion. When you're on a losing run, you know, you play us, you get something positive, and they beat Manchester City away from home. They've beat Arsenal away from home. I believe with that being said, they've got 3 wins in their first 3 games this season, which I believe the commentator said is the first time in their history. So they did what they needed to do, man. Leicester are laughing, you know, Jamie Vardy and Arsenal, you know how the script goes, similar to Wayne Rooney and Didier Drogba against us. You know what Jamie Vardy's in on. You know, I believe he's got 4 in 4 against Arsenal. So we'll get into it. But before we get into it, I see a lot of you are tuning in. And like I said, big up everybody that's tuned in, especially if you're an Arsenal fan after that frustrating result, because obviously it's all fun and games being good for 20 minutes. There's 90 minutes of football. And I always say it to you lot, people. What happened after halftime? I don't know. But before I get into that, but Abdullah said DG were waiting. You know, he's very frustrated, you know. You know, I can't pronounce your name, but you know, obviously the inevitable was going to be said. Mesut Twitter fingers Ozil being left out the side when we're badly lacking creativity. I think I speak for every Arsenal fan watching that game when I say David Luiz was probably the most creative man. Big up David Luiz. He played well for the minutes he was on. Fingers crossed it's not a serious injury for David Luiz. But when your centre half is your most creative player, the one attempting to break the lines the most, you're always in trouble. Tactically, Arteta did a mazza as well, but we'll get into a lot of that, man. You know. You know, there's a lot of. I think Saka did well, man. We'll get into all of that, them questions there. One of my moderators, you know, after getting a point against Chelsea, as expected, he's going to be in good spirits. Big up Ahmed as well, man. Make sure you're clearing up all the silliness if there is any. Come on, people. Like he said, I know it's difficult, but like the video, people. Come on. My guy, I don't know if I can calm you down. All I can do is give you my opinion, my dude, man. Bro, Ali's vex, Ali's vex, Ali's vex. Ali, we're gonna get into it, man. We're gonna get into it, man. There's nothing to get into. We all saw it still, but it is what it is, man. It is what it is. Big up Lewis Hamilton for doing his thing, Marcus. But way before we big up Hamilton, we've got to digest this game, man. And there's a lot of you know, big up the 157 people locked in, like the thing, people. What have we got here? I wish after that result, I wish I was. I'm definitely not, man. I'm tired. You know, it's been a terrible week for me, my guy, because weekend apologies because my team lost 2-1 in the cup. You know, we had a penalty, we missed it, we conceded some silly goals from set pieces. Credit to AFC Rose, the man there did their thing, but it was decent, people. Like Daniel said, can we get 27 likes by the end of the week? Well, we are at the weekend, but I assume you're speaking about the one going. But going into the game, people, enough of all of that other chat. Like I said, big up everybody in there right now are locked in. But anyways, going into the game, we know what we need to do. We lost against Manchester City. We've got Manchester United next week. We've got a long, hard spell of games to come now. You know, we need to pick up 3 points. We're really going to see what this squad is on. We can't even afford to feel sorry for ourselves losing these last two games, people. We have to just pick ourselves up, learn from this. And I mean learn from this and go again. So we knew what to expect going into the game. I know going into the game, there was a lot of fan excitement talking about Saliba and Emile Smith-Rowe might be involved. They weren't in the squad. Forgive me if I'm wrong. Was Reece Nelson even there? I saw Joe Willock, but I can't remember. I can't really complain. Before we lost, I can't complain with the lineup because I saw 4 at the back. I saw an attacking sort of lineup. Was keen to see how Ceballos was going to fit into it as well. I don't think Ceballos was poor, but Ceballos was quite underwhelming today, in my opinion. But I felt there was enough to go out there and get a positive result. Obviously, commiserations to Willian, whatever you think of him, because he's missing out through injury. It's 4 at the back. You know what to expect. Before the game, I felt Leicester, they can put good moves together. They can also counter attack to devastating effect. Obviously, with someone that's been around the block like Brendan Rodgers and a street smart team, we knew their game management was going to be spot on. We know they've got a good defense. So Yunchi was injured, a half-fit Jamie Vardy, as we all knew before. But if we needed any reminder, like he showed when he scored, half-fit Jamie Vardy is still a problem, and you can't afford to give him any space. On the topic of that, I think Brendan Rodgers completely outdone Arteta. I feel, it was a different Leicester. Obviously, Arteta might have been shocked by that. Obviously, with Vardy's injury, Harvey Barnes playing up front, they've had Siyunchu's knock. They had a bit of a knock. Dare I say, first half, it was more of a timid Leicester. They were 3-5 at the back, 11 men behind the ball, weathering the storm, allowing David Luiz and Mustafi to play out from the back, even, dare I say, allowing them to just carry it forward and whatnot and concede, the space in favour of holding their shape. It was more of a timid Leicester than I thought. Felt Fofana did well. I think there was a couple good things. Credit to Arsenal. We started off strongly, Bellerin and Tierney in particular. They had a lot of joy on the flanks. David Luiz was getting his pass on. We're working well. There's Saka, Bukayo Saka once again, youngest man in the squad playing one of the best. And we know he's young. We need to not put pressure on him. We need to remove him out the side and whatnot, people, and give him a rest. But we can't afford to, because he's showing these more experienced players that have played for their country more times, earn a lot more money, been professional footballers for a lot more years, how to do this thing. But even then, we were playing decent football by Arsenal standards. Still think we need to play to greater precision to cut Leicester City open. But it felt like they were there for the taking and they were coming to walk away with a point. We just needed a bit more quality in our end product. There was a number of good balls in from Tierney, Bukayo Saka was involved. Half chances by Lacazette. Like Lacazette, for me today, was very poor. There was one incident in particular. Tierney put a good ball in and he weren't gambling. I don't think enough of our attackers were gambling. But by that same old token, people, as you saw, it was a case of the same old story with Arsenal. We're struggling to break teams down. We're struggling to really test Kasper Schmeichel for real. We're happy as fans because, Leicester, we thought they were going to be more at it, a bit more opportunities in the first half. But we've got possession. We're doing all right. We started well. We're doing what we need to do defensively. Gabriel is shining. Our fullbacks are flying forward. Partey's in his first start on the carpets, doing all right when called upon. Xhaka's trying to get his radar on. And I'm seeing a little bit of movement from our front three, and we're actually doing all right. I think Lacazette needs to up it. We'd scored early on and it was disallowed. Unfortunately, as an Arsenal fan, I'm always going to say it should have counted. And obviously, definitely after this, I wish it counted. But other than that, the first 20 minutes was on top of them. Yeah, Leicester had a couple of half chances, but if that, it was very much a Jose Mourinho performance in the first half from Brendan Rodgers. And I think he was starting to clock that really and truly. When we did play long balls, they were precise. I wouldn't say we was cutting Leicester open, but we was playing with a bit more zip. As you lot saw, we had an abnormal amount of penalties. I wish. Abnormal amount of corners and whatnot, people. I wanted Ceballos to step up a bit, but I felt he was getting on the ball into little pockets and whatnot. First 20 minutes, most impressive. Obviously, in the 28th minute, there was a lovely moment where David Luiz found Tierney and Lacazette. I thought he could have got his head on it. Bukayo Saka, again, lovely long man. There was a lovely moment. Gabriel fizzed the pass into him. He turned in it well. Good first touch. And he just needs to decide if he wants to shoot a bit earlier, but he tries to find Aubameyang. It doesn't really happen. Aubameyang playing in a bit of a different role on that right-hand side, predominantly not really doing much, but he's not involved. He's trying and whatnot. He fizzled out in the second, but it is what it is. Like I said, on the topic of Leicester City, they were a bit more defensive. I felt they were a bit more passive and timid than I expected. They're a bit more mans to the pump sort of thing. For me, I wanted us to score because, again, possession doesn't win you football matches. Putting the ball over the line does. And I felt it's the same old case, really, in that, we didn't cut Kasper Schmeichel open. We didn't really make him make mad saves and whatnot. There weren't too much in that regards to do, really. And, the more that we don't score, the more nervous you get because football's a funny old game. And as an Arsenal fan, you've been around the block in that these teams. We have 1,000 chances. You fail to take your chance. A team like Leicester will do that. So to go into half-time and not to be a goal ahead or 2 goals ahead, which we probably deserved, and Leicester count themselves lucky, was appalling. And this is what these boys need to understand. Second half, apologies, 1 second, people. I don't want to miss out this super chat. Thank you very much, Abdullah. You said Arteta takes 75% of the blame. Who was the creative midfielder? Clearly not Ceballos, Xhaka, Partey. The attack is not good enough. And we do know we have creative problems. I love for the super chat, my guy. It means a lot. But as I was saying before, I answered that rather pleasant super chat. Second half, it's a big halftime team talk for both teams because, like I said, Leicester away from home, they've got 2 wins, but they've been on a losing run of sorts. We ain't, bar the first 20 minutes, you ain't made it difficult, too tough for their keeper. You ain't, Evans, big up Johnny Evans, I can see why Arsene Wenger, wanted them once upon a time. He's made a couple of big tackles to deny some good goal scoring opportunities for us. But, we ain't really made them make saves. We ain't really created uncertainty in that defense. We ain't really run them ragged and run them into the ground. It does feel like we can score, but at the same time, as an Arsenal fan, you're not necessarily confident in our players or confident as an Arsenal fan with our ability in front of goal. So the longer you don't score, the more confidence they're going to get. So we need to go out there and kill the game and play to our maximum if we can. For Leicester, they could turn around. There's no Rodgers could say, listen, boys, there's no Sionchu. Vardy's on the bench. We've weathered the storm. You clearly see they can't break us down. They can't break you down. They're here for the taking. They're not going to be able to play like that for 70 minutes. You know what I mean? For 45 more minutes. As you lot know, the 60th minute legs begin to tire. People begin to get tired. And for us, that's beneficial because there could be gaps to open. But for also against us, people start to switch off as tired legs and lactic acid starts to build. And once again, in football, you do not take your chances. You're going to be made to pay for them. And that's what happened. And where I think Mikel Arteta went wrong is I think he could have been a bit more proactive in this game because Brendan Rodgers clocked from early, listen, we were defensive. I went with Harvey Barnes up front. Jamie Vardy's on the bench. I know he's got half an hour in him. When that happens, I can be a bit more expansive. I know Telemans, Pratt, and Maddison, by the occasional opportunity, Arsenal have kept them quiet, but this game is starting to become a bit more open. We're starting to have more of the ball, and he kind of freed up his team's shackles a bit, really. They were getting a bit more forward even before the substitutions. Of course, the subs happened to devastate and affect people. You saw it yourself with Senji's under coming on, he was wanting to get into that flanks, and you could see that happening, sort of thing, people. And obviously, Jamie Vardy, the script writes himself. He comes off the bench, he scores, he continues a fantastic record, and they nick 3 points. But you could see it coming. Second half, we ran out of gas. We were extremely flat, people, in my opinion. We started to lack that desire, in my opinion. Old habits, like I think Gabriel played well, but he started to lose his concentration. There are a number of unnecessary stray passes in the middle. I think a lot of it was unneeded, people. And I actually think not Jamie Vardy, James Justin, as a fullback, I liked a lot. He's at Leicester and he was formerly at Luton. He done Hector Bellerin a big favour, people, really and truly, because if he made a meal of that, Hector Bellerin gets a second yellow. On the topic of Hector Bellerin, big opportunity, in the second half as well. Really, the only time I saw Aubameyang in the second half, he put a lovely ball in. Forgive me if I'm wrong, and this was in the second half. Hector Bellerin did a little volley ting, Kasper Schmeichel, really and truly, it looked good. It's a Hollywood ting, but it's not going to really be of anything to test him and go past him. He's a good keeper, and he was equal to it. Beyond that, for the whole game, though, I know Laka was poor and he has to answer a lot of questions. There weren't too many clear-cut opportunities, and that's down to these attackers to want to do that, and that's also down to the team. And Arteta's got to make us play to a better ability. I'm going to give and take with one hand. He freed up the shackles, maybe with Partey. He's gone with a 4 at the back, but we weren't attacking enough. Potentially with Bukayo Saka coming off, who I did think was getting tired, and he did get a knock. And more so, David Luiz. David Luiz tried to soldier on in the second half. Clearly, look, we all saw Mustafi warming up, and we was all thinking, why is he warming up? Why is he bringing on a defender? But some of us, like myself, also thought, what, somebody's got a knock. Is it Gabriel or Luiz? Luiz tried to soldier on, it didn't happen. And you could say that was the beginning of the end, because David Luiz was the one trying to spray the passes and whatnot. And David Luiz, in the minutes he played, I don't think you could have asked for more of him. I'm not going to play Mustafi and that. Mustafi, I think, was a bit hit and miss today, but I think with Bukayo Saka and Luiz coming on, the writing was on the wall, and it comes down to game management as well. Rodgers is more experienced than Mikel Arteta. He's had his mark on that team a bit more. Their game management is better. And as the game, when Vardy came on, as it was getting to 60th, 70th minute, whether they scored or whatever, you could see the tide changing. Our players didn't react to that in the same way them Leicester players clock raw. Like, we've weathered the storm. Arsenal are not really saying much. Let's go a bit forward. We didn't clock like let the game is starting to go to Leicester. Couple man sit a bit more and stop letting it open, because I know we want to score, but gaps are open. And that's where our goal came from. It's a straight pass. You know, there's a gap in our midfield. They exploit it. It's 2v1. You know, Senji's under did very well to pick out Jamie Vardy. And, you know, against the runner play, it's exactly what you expected as an Arsenal fan and exactly what you foresaw, people. It was a good performance from Leicester, because, you know, they remained penned in. They soaked up pressure for large periods. They limited Arsenal to playing in front of them. When legs began to tire, they opened up the game a bit with their substitutions, and they hit us on the break and they scored, and it was a man's to the pump. You know, we got 3 yellow cards, they got 5. We had more shots on goal, not really too much on target, more possession, more passes, but they've got the only thing that matters is 3 points. And like I said at the beginning, I believe that's now 3 away wins, considering they've gone to the Etihad and now the Emirates, and I don't know the other team they won at. They've done well, and football, it just shows football's a funny old game. Carl, Leicester won against City, then they got smacked against West Ham. We've beat West Ham. Leicester have beat us. You know, it's a crazy old Premier League where crazy old things are happening. It's frustrating for me because, again, it's how you start and finish. Our game management at the start to really get that equalizer and to really understand for me that Leicester are heading on top of us and whatnot, and so let's remain penned in is what cost us. And I don't want to keep saying for management and the players that they're inexperienced, that it's a new process and things, because it is, but at the same time, we've been around this block many times, especially if we was looking in August to get top 4 and was thinking about everything that went wrong last season. This was the reason. You failed to really take advantage of your early pressure. You failed to remain switched on. You know, you don't take your chances. You don't walk away with a win. And, you know, we've had 2 1-0 defeats now. We go into Manchester United now, Old Trafford, a ground we haven't travelled too well in recent years in the league, to put it nicely. But there's no time to feel sorry for ourselves. We need to learn from what we need to learn from as to why we lost this and move forward, people. I think Arteta needs to learn to be a bit more proactive, because I think Rodgers was way more proactive than him. And when the tide was turning, Brendan Rodgers reacted more promising than Mikel Arteta. So for management and for the players, it's poor. And I'd say for the players, you've got to dig it out, because Saka, Tierney to a degree, and a couple of a man, but in the attacking sense specifically, Saka is the only one that looks like he's in a healthy way. He will try and make things happen, and he'll be patient, but he's trying to force things. He's trying to go on a half turn, drag fouls and whatnot. You know, Lacazette was just doing a madness today. He was quite poor. I felt he spent more time fouling than actually trying to have efforts. You know, Aubameyang is hot and cold. You know, I'm seeing Aubameyang cross the ball, and again, he's out wide. So that's Arteta putting him out there. But at the same time, again, like I've said in many games, if I'm someone like Evans and our team can't buy a win at the moment, and Arsenal are chasing a win right now, and you've got Aubameyang crossing the ball, I'm going to be counting my chickens. I'm going to be laughing, you know. If I can see Aubameyang, then I know I'm doing well. Aubameyang's a man, you look on your last shoulder, his peak. So, yeah, man, if football was only played for 20 minutes, we would have won the first 20 minutes. Fortunately for Leicester, and unfortunately for us, there's 90 minutes, and we started well. We didn't manage the first half well in terms of needing to score and go into halftime 1 or 2 goals up and capitalize on our sustained pressure and a toothless Leicester. We didn't do that. Cheap mistakes and switching off was a point as to why we lost. And I think individuals didn't take their game on their shoulders and say, I'm going to decide this enough. So it's the same old story, really and truly. It's really the same old story for Arsenal fans, people. That's all I can really say. There isn't much more to speak about it. Let me see what you lot are saying, people. And it was a bit weird, man. I don't know if Aubameyang's truly fit, because I see him pop some tablet or something. I don't know what that was for. I don't know what that is in relation to, people. But I see him pop a tablet. So, again, there might be some cause for his play. I know some people will point to the fact of, we played 2 games this week, and I hear that might have been why David Luiz is injured. But at the same time, I don't think fatigue was an issue today. We looked flat in the second half, but we didn't do what we needed to do, people. And it is what it is. And now we need to have a big reaction, people, really and truly. The boys need to take responsibility, but at the same time, it's poor from Arteta. I think this was a poor game from Arteta, man. And that's it, man. You can say free Ozil all you want. You know, I know you can't really, you know, Ozil might have made something happen, or a player like Ozil have been on the fence, and I can sit here and say, you know, Arteta and the club haven't given themselves a leg to stand on, because you've alienated Ozil, you've not brought in Aura or another target, and so far we haven't seen anything that's going to suggest this can be fixed in terms of creativity in-house, people. So there's not really a leg to stand on. But there's no point. I can't. Obviously, it's smart when you see Mesut Ozil talking about, he put creative next to Madison in that tweet. It's all fancy in that, but there's no point talking about it, car. Ozil can't be registered tomorrow. He can't be registered next week. It can only be done in January. And I can't blame the fans for saying that, because again, you've robbed yourself of the tool to use. And it is what it is, man. It's jarring, man. It's jarring. It's jarring. It's jarring, man. It's really jarring. It's a bittersweet one, man, because there's a bit of positives based on the 20 minutes, but ultimately, the 70 minutes, which is the majority, the business weren't done, people. As simple as that, really and truly, man. There's a real static lack of movement. What have you lot got to say? Mustafi's catching some heat. I don't think he was that bad, but he didn't. He was a bit hot and cold, to put it nicely. As C said, typical. We knew what going, but it still happened, man. Exactly, Hamid, man. We haven't really played well all season, and that's the thing about fans. I'm not sitting here blasting and saying Arteta out and all this mad stuff, but this is why I call for fans, and really just the ones of you that watch me and mess with me, just to keep a level head. Because when we beat Fulham, superb. When we got away with the result against West Ham, calm. But when you get away with it against West Ham, we say this, we mucked in and all of this sort of stuff. And then the luck runs out, like today. We would have still been saying the same old things if we got the 1-0 victory. So we need to fix up, and the same old problems are there. That's the thing. The thing for me right now, what I'm seeing at Arsenal people is, whether we're winning, losing, or drawing, yeah, we're trying to get the ball forward, but I never get the feeling like we're dying to score, like it's life or death for this goal, like we're not leaving this football field without scoring, sort of thing. We've shot ourselves in the foot, really and truly, and it's just dropping more unnecessary points. Credit to Leicester, car, they deserved it. They reacted, but we should have put the game to bed. It should have been 3 or so nil. This got Vardy goal that he scored. He should be the only one in that away dressing room, on the train, on the plane, or however they're going back, or the coach or whatever, saying, "Boy, at least I got my goal. I'm closer to getting the golden boot." Now he's laughing. He got 30 minutes and he had a party. I think Partey was decent in his little cameo, but I say cameo in his appearance at the carpet today. But there's not too many. There are some positives, but there's not too many, man. That's it. People weren't complaining, but football's a funny game. It works when it works, and rightly so. When it works, you can't say anything. You have to shut up. But when it's not working, you have to face the music. And I think Aubameyang needs to take some accountability for his poor form. Again, I don't know if it's medical stuff that he's going with when we see the tablet he popped, if he's got an injury or whatever. He needs to take responsibility for his poor form. But at the same time, again, with Arteta, because he hasn't really given him leg to stand on. There's no Ozil and there's no creative thing. Aubameyang's being wasted out wide. Lacazette did as well as he did to stay on, I believe, personally. So yeah, man, I'm not gonna criticize the lineup because I wasn't too fussed with the lineup. I'm talking about when the game started. We knew Aubameyang's going to be out wide, but we'll take that with what's been going on. Bukayo Saka deserves to start. You need Lacazette or Eddie. I'm sure most fans, you're not really gonna be completely upset if Lacazette starts ahead of Eddie. He's played the three midfielders a lot of people want to see, with Partey, Xhaka, and obviously Ceballos. Defense, he's gone with a back four. I can't really complain. I always prefer Maitland-Niles ahead of Bellerin, but it's not really a thing like that. Bellerin was lucky not to be sent off once again. Tierney, I think, played well. Leno is evidently the number one. Gabriel had a good game, lost his standards a bit towards the second half, towards the end for me. He started to switch off. But him and Luis in the game to start off with, can't complain, man. But it's just, I don't know what we're doing on the training ground, but in terms of whatever Wenger was doing, creating, the 1-2 passes, the triangles, the Wenger balls, Arteta needs to overload these players to do that, Carl. We're not doing that. And, there needs to be movement. He needs to coach movement. Fullbacks need to be running. Midfielders, make a run in behind so you take someone with you. Someone else exploits that vacated space. We're not moving enough, and we're not. The man in possession, I never get the vibe right now that he has 2 to 3 options to pass the ball to. And I think that's the man into possession, one, to have the bravery and Arteta to coach it, but also the movement. Players are just looking to feet too much. Players are just, if the ball comes to me, it comes to me. I'm not really seeing enough in that regards. And as Matt said, we should have scored. We should have, man. But should have, if this and that, we can only deal with the facts. And we didn't, man. We didn't. Willock off the left. I could do you know what? Funny enough, I could see the Willock coming on. Maybe not for me, not in that role you're saying, Matt, but I understand where you're coming from. But for me, I was in my head, I was contemplating the Joe Willock off the bench thing, man. Exactly. Exactly, Derek, and that's what I mean. He knew the number, you know. Rogers showed his experience. You saw what he did, man. He knew the game was there for the taking. His team were on the ball a bit more, and he knew. Listen, I knew I would have come here for a point, you know. But Jamie Vardy, let's go and nick it from Arsenal, and he did what he needed to do. Kareem, you know, I respect everybody's opinion. For me, it's too early, you know. I don't know, man. Ahmad, I know you're a United fan, but again, you know, I can't disagree. I think only Partey looked really certy. You know, Jacques had his moments. Ceballos was underwhelming, be the right word to describe, but like you said, non-existent. I think like Aubameyang tried to put himself around, but again, non-existent. Lacazette just weren't at the races today. He spent more time arguing with the refs and arguing for me, you know, with amongst players than he spent trying to take shots and stuff, man. I don't know, man. Only significant Aubameyang touch was when he laid it up for Bellerin to have that good effort, man. Fofana's a bad boy. Fofana's a bad boy, and you can see when he gets older, he edges out a bit of rough edges in his game. He's gonna be a player. Like there was one incident, I can't remember who he fouled. I think it might have been Lacazette, I don't know, but he tried to step in front and he didn't make it. Fofana's a bad boy, man, and they're laughing. And you know, Evans, Leicester have always had a decent amount of centre halves of recent years. You know, Soyuncu's grown into his own. Previously, Wes Morgan and Hoof did a thing for them. You know, right now they've got Soyuncu and Evans. They've now got Fofana. You know, you look at someone like Soyuncu and Fofana. You know, they both going well. Fofana's going to get admirers from bigger clubs, and you always see Soyuncu linked. You'd imagine if and when the time comes, they're making decent P's. You'd imagine 50 million a pop minimum for either player. Obviously, it's a bit early for Fofana, but yeah, man, you're right, man. Quality player, man. Quality player. And it was nice to talk about Fofana and his ability for once. It made me forget we actually lost temporarily, man. I agree, Nicholas, man. I agree, man. I agree. It is what it is, man. It is what it is. Everyone's allowed their opinions. If you don't think Arteta's the man, then I can see where you're coming from. But Arteta out's a bit mad for me personally. C has said he did choose the right team, but I just feel what we didn't do today is on the players as well as his tactics, because I don't think he's coached in, and if he does, fair play, but I'm not seeing enough on a football field watching Arsenal week in, week out to conclude we're doing enough training in terms of, you know, passing, moving, making runs, all the things that people attributed to Arsenal, even when we weren't winning and we was bantering the Emirates era, even things that as an Arsenal fan, I think I'm right to say we took for granted. Creativity, we took it for granted. We took it for granted. Now we're getting a decent defense, an okay, better outlook to defending. We're not showing any improvement week in, week out for attacking, and it must be frustrating for the players, and it might because I know it's frustrating for us fans, man. You know, I don't even think it was a thing like that today. I just think both players didn't do enough, and I just feel we're not breaking the team together enough. We're not breaking teams down enough. It's just a bit mad, man. Bellerin's about 5 out of 10 from me today, really. Boy, Marcus, take words out of my mouth, man. I agree, man. Aubameyang needs to step it up, but I think he's playing on an injury or there's some sort of health issue. I don't know, man. How he says the players let the manager down. I think it's a bit of both, but I feel more the players as well, man. Yeah, definitely the last 20, my guy. Kareem, I felt the game was gone, man. I hear you might have tired us out, but that first 20, you know, we weren't talking about tired legs and them thing there. So is it how far does that one go, my guy? And to be fair, these players knew what going in terms of us playing week in, week out. It's a bit mad. Nicholas has said, DG, I can understand Arteta criticism if we lost when Arteta has made all his silence, including attacking mid. But until then, we can't fully judge. I agree with you. You can't judge a man if he ain't got his squad and whatnot. But for me, you can. It's give or take, you know. As long as you're not drawing any conclusions that Arteta isn't good enough and all of these things, you can ask questions today, because I feel it was on the players. They didn't do enough. We didn't capitalize on those first 20 minutes. I don't know what was said at half time. Players started creeping into old habits, as you saw towards the end and in the second half, full stop. But at the same time, I think Arteta, in the same way we've improved defensively, exclude Gabriel and put in, David Luiz and Mustafi. Just put a player, 11 players that were not signed in the summer. You would see a better improvement defensively, without Gabriel. I'm talking about, that same 11 you put out a year before Arteta and a year now. You'd see an improvement. So you could say when Gabriel comes in, it's a next level. In an attacking sense, I don't think it's as white and black for me to say you bring in a creative man, you're going to do this. Yes, a creative man comes in, he can break open lines and stuff, but it can't just be on him. Like I said, runners, you need movement. You need wingers running for the sake of it, fullbacks overlapping, midfielders, one run like a Ramsey thing, one running behind off a centre half. You need movement. That needs to be coached. And also the players need to be coached to attack, because where's the creative man going to pick it up? Do you want him doing what most teams like Arsenal, United have to do with their creative man? They're coming deep all the time for the ball and they're not in areas they can affect it. So the coaching thing for me, I need to see a bit more from Arteta. He's done it. He's shown me defensively, and that was the harder job. More important, because defense wins you titles, as great as attacking is. But I've seen that. And I hear you. But for me, also, again, Nicholas, second point, as much as I agree with you, my dude, same way, like I said earlier, you've alienated Ozil. So the possibility, if Ozil plays today, he doesn't do nothing, what most people expect. Okay, he tried Ozil, he needs better players. But you've opened yourself up to this for whatever reason. I think it's above board, as you lot know already, with Ozil. But if I'm Arteta, I can't bring in a creative man. I think we need creativity. You're not telling me I can't register Ozil because it's my job on the line. The same fans, me doing this live stream, Nicholas asking this question, and the rest of you listening is what is going to happen, and all the other fans. So, I'm going to ask myself questions because I want to win. You're not telling me I can't use him. So I have to deem, as much as I think it's off field with Ozil, my man has said, you know what, I don't think you can help me from what I'm trying to do over this 38 game calendar. So if he's done that, you ain't registered Ozil, you said you're not using him. I hope Emil Smith Rowe, Joe Willock, one of these young G's takes that spot. I hope they do. But right now, I haven't seen anything to suggest that that's going to happen in the next fortnight at least. Also, so at least in the short term, it's more of the same. Danny Ceballos, okay, the shackles might have been freed a bit more today, but he ain't really took that. You've got Willian. I ain't really seen Willian in that 10 role other than when we played Sheffield. So if you ain't trying to fix it in-house, if you haven't brought in this hour, or for me, a plan B, and Arteta himself is now head coach and we've seen it in writing on Arsenal.com. He's having more of a say in transfers. You ain't got a leg to stand on, because the inevitable is going to be here. You bring in a creative man, we failed to struggle. You bring in a creative man and today happens. We're not talking about the creative, Ozil. We're talking about why we couldn't break down the team, why there was no runners. So it's a give or take thing, my guy. It's a give or take, man. Mustafi was Mustafi as usual. Like I said, hot and cold, to put it nice, man. I don't believe so. I believe Aubameyang will start scoring, but again, it's getting a bit mad, man. Caps music, man. Mustafi, hot and cold, man. I see some good passes and then I see some disaster classes, man. I'm at the point where I'm not trying to do the whole getting angry about performances. I just expect this, man. Sam, joke. That's the one joke that I can be a part of. Cause you think I paid for that? Listen, apologies with any Arsenal fan that bought that, but better off giving the 15 quid to charity or going on the stream, man. Come on, man. Come on, man. It's a bit mad. It's a bit mad. That game was a bit mad. It's unfortunate for the fans, in my humble opinion, man. But it is what it is, man. He was vexed. He was vexed. He was vexed. Yeah, man. Mustafi got smoked, bro. Smoked, bro. Everyone is dropping points, man. Where is my bro? It's gonna leave that one up there for you lot to read, man. Another 10 more seconds. I think everyone will read that one there, man. But it's don't know what to say, man. It's a mad thing, man. I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't think playing Saliba makes a difference today, because I think it was a case of putting the ball in the back of the net and pumping them, man. Cause it's a bit mad. I think even and then they would have done a thing today. But again, don't want to sit here and talk about the players that are not involved, man. A lot of questions ready, man. A lot of questions, man. It's a bit mad. We got, oh man, people on Vic. What about Xhaka? 4 out of 10, 5 out of 10, 5 to be nice, 4 out of 10. Couple nice passes, non-existent really. Passenger in midfield, and I can't really see what he's bringing to the table when you've got teams like this that are just gonna sit and sit and sit and sit and sit and sit and sit. Yes, just track it, just strolling, man, just strolling, bro, just strolling, man. But what can I say, bro? What can I say, man? What can I say? Love for the praise, Hamid, man. But who is your lot's best Arsenal player, Carl? For me, it's between Saka. I believe Saka. I'd say David Luiz for me. I'd say David Luiz. I'd say Saka and then Gabriel. Funny enough, people, but I'd say David Luiz for me, man. I felt Danny Ceballos was poor today. 5 out of 10. I think he was a bit underwhelming, personally. Hamid, at least until January, it's irrelevant whether he's stubborn, my guy. Carl, you've shot yourself in the foot. You ain't used him. If you've done a thing where you selected him and you still froze him out, then you have the opportunity to eat humble pie and do what you need to do. But the humble pie is past its sell-by date for now, so there ain't nothing you can do. You got to fix this in-house. You got to use Emil, Nelson, Willock, William. You got to do Ceballos. You got to make something bang. You got to make something bang. A lot of people talk about Lacazette in that role, even though that's not what I think. Just add that in for more effect. They shot himself in the foot, man. Shot himself in the foot. Tierney was good today. Don't agree Saka was poor today, personally, but I respect your opinion, Donny. We've got David Luiz, man of the match. We've had a lot of Bellerin slander, but we've also had certain people bigging up Bellerin as well in the comments. Man, I think Bellerin was calm today. He got tired in the second half, but we've got some Bellerin love. We've got, as usual, Gabriel's going to get love. And like I said in my thing, Luiz was a bit better from him, man. I'm bored of hearing about Ozil as well. That's why I've tried to keep it short and brief, my guy. There's no point speaking about him. What is on this? He can't affect us for 2.5 months. Together, not too sure. I'm not too sure, man. Not too sure. Don't think so. If you play like that front three of United will put you to the sword, man. Will put you to the sword. Because we're very left-hand centric and our right-hand side doesn't seem to offer much. Dre's onto him, man. Fair play. I'm glad also, man. They've got to train to the level where they can actually get on the bench, I'd say, my guy, man. Some more Gabriel love. What else we got? It's disappointing today, man. It's disappointing. Do we look forward to the summer now? No, man. Summer's irrelevant, my guy, bro. We're here in October, man. David Luiz love. Do you need to sleep, bro? I've been up since 7 a.m., man. Well, 6:45 on a Sunday, man. I do need to sleep, my guy. And through that game, of course, I need to sleep, man. He's just coming back for injury, and I guess he needs to show something, man. Man. But it is what it is. It is what it is, man. It is what it is, man. It is what it is. We lost. We have to just hold our heads. There's nothing else we could do. Anfield, I don't know, man. I don't know. Bear man, we're just doing foolishness today, man. Just doing foolishness, man. Just bare below par performances. Like I said earlier, if the game was played for 20 minutes, we've won it convincingly. If that car, we didn't even score really. Still, probably still be a point, actually, funny enough. But it is what it is, man. A lot of you are frustrated as usual and as expected. I can't blame you because it is more of the same, man. I guess I just believe in Arteta, I guess, man. I guess I just believe in Arteta, man. It is what it is, man. Yeah, fully is what it is. Bro, and you're always going to be in trouble. You're always going to be in trouble. Big up David Luiz, but you're always going to be in trouble, man. What's happening for this team would be my question, my guy. Hey, dead cow foot. 200 likes. Big up the 200 likes, gang, man. I'm going to get out of here in a second, people. Now, the tactics were suspect. The lineup was there, but for me, it's more the second half. Because you could see the game is going another way, man. You could see the game is going another way. You know, you could see Brendan Rodgers active, making subs, changing, man, telling man what to do. You could see what was going to happen, people. You could see that's where I'm on to Arteta. I'm not on to Arteta about the lineup, because the lineup, within reason, for by our standards, that's a bit more attacking ones, four at the back. It's what I wanted in it. It's not maybe not my exact 11, but it's what I wanted. So I can't take anything away from that. It's just what you do beyond that, man. You know, like I said, the second half, I don't know what some man are on, but it is what it is in that regards, people. I've got nothing more to add, man, in relation to the game, man. You know, people are on to Emery and Arteta. You know, the ghost of Emery still haunts us potentially within the body of Arteta. You know, PO is vexed. Oba down the middle, I don't care anymore. He's vexed. Jaden, I feel the same way, man. I feel the same way. I feel the same way. I feel the same way. I really feel the same way. You know, I can't lie, people. I'm streaming because it's been a terrible afternoon. You know, my camera isn't charged at all. We've lost. My Sunday League team lost. It's just been a mazzoline, man. It's been an absolute mad thing, to put it nicely, people. It's been a madness. I might as well do my player ratings on this, really and truly, if you give me a second. So for player ratings, people, you know, for player ratings, let me get my player ratings thing up. Let's go. I've gone with Leno. I'm going to give Leno a 6, and I must admit, I'm tempted to make it a 7 because of the save at the end. I don't think I could have asked Leno of anything more. But when I watch the game again, which I will be doing, you lot know me, I'm always open to revising marks and marking up or down. But right now, I think a 6 is cool. I think we can all agree David Luiz is a 7. Like, David Luiz was quality in what he did today, in the passes. Sadly, you know, big up David Luiz, but in sad news for us, it's only one. If the centre half's the most creative, you know you're in issues. So David Luiz gets a 7. Apologies, people. I've got a super chat. I'm tired, my guy, man. I've been up all day, man. I'm tired. But moving forward, apologies for that. Like I said, David Luiz is 7, Leno is 6. Gabriel, I'm torn between a 6 and a 7. I'll give him the benefit of the doubt and give him a 7. I felt in the second half there was a bit of sloppy passes unnecessarily given away by him, and he showed where he needs to improve, people. But I think right now I'll give him a 7, benefit of the doubt. In fact, nah, man, I give him a 7. I give Tierney. I'm torn between a 6 and a 7 for Tierney. I think Tierney was good today, so I'm gonna give him a 7. Hector Bellerin, I give a 6. You know, I was gonna give him a 5, but I think he was all right. Xhaka, I give Xhaka a 4. I think the game passed him by. I think he was on course to get a 5, but last 20, let it go past him. Partey for me gets a 6. You know, wasn't exactly outstanding. It wasn't a game for him to display that, but was competent in his passes. Did well, encouraging first home appearance for Partey. So he gets a 6. Aubameyang gets a 4, ineffective, really and truly. Lacazette gets a 4, ineffective, really and truly. Dani Ceballos, I give a 4 as well. I didn't really feel Dani Ceballos. I think he was hot and cold. Bukayo Saka, I'd give us 6.5-ish. Is it a 6 or is it a 7? I give him more a 7, man, because again, he's doing more than these experienced players. He's showing more consistency than these experienced players. Mustafi gets a 4 when he came on. I feel he was a bit hot and cold. He didn't get really to it. Pepe was extremely frustrating, but I don't really feel I saw enough to give a rating. And the same goes for Eddie and Ketia, people. It was a bit of a jarring one, people. So yeah, man, in relation to my player ratings, that's my player ratings for the Leicester game, obviously, people. Oh, sorry, people. 1 second. So, they are. What the fuck? Oh, that was jarring, man. I hope that actually is the player ratings. Apologies, people. So I'm actually gonna have to just do this properly. But that's my player ratings, anyways, people. Man, it is what it is, man. What are you lot saying for player ratings, man? We've got Saka 4, we've got Laka 2, we've got Saka at least a 6 or a 7. Ceballos was not a competitive player. Mustafi gets a 1. Ceballos gets a 1. Someone else said, you know, a lot of you are. Xhaka gave up on the goal. A lot of people are vexed. A lot of you are vexed, people. A lot of you are angry, man. A lot of you are not happy at all, bro. But it is what it is, man. We lost. It is what it is, man. Don't get out of it. There ain't nothing else to do, man. I really got as much enthusiasm to do this as much as I normally do. But to end it, somebody's asked me a question. Without Mustafi, we draw. But it shouldn't even get to that, my guy. It shouldn't even get to that. It shouldn't even get to that. Shouldn't even get to that. Man United fan here, love your channel. Of course, you're gonna love my channel because we're losing right now. On a serious note, though, appreciate that, man. Appreciate that. Despite we've got different allegiances, you see that I'm a man who just loves football, man. So yeah, man, is what it is. Pepe gets a 0. You know, Liverpool's gonna run away with the Arteta route. You know, yeah, you need to go. That was painful. Come on, man. You know, people are vexed, man. Kofi saying Aubameyang through the middle, give Pepe a run of games. You know, that could be something, man. You know, Carl isn't here for none of this. You know, he's thinking it's a mad thing for us to this season. So we'll have to see, man. I'm blocking someone for saying Højbjerg party. That's a waste man thing. But let's see what else, man. Is there one more question I can leave you guys on just to do it right? Nah, there ain't another question. I wouldn't mind giving Nelson a try, because we need to fix this one in-house, my guy. One more question, I'm going to get out of here, man. Come on, like the video. Big up Osgo, man. Come on, come on. It's a disallowed goal, my guy. Look, disallowed, you know, it's harsh. Again, I want to have to watch it again, but if it's disallowed, it's disallowed, bro. We should have scored 3, 4, 5 today, man. Really. I haven't seen this, my guy, but commiserate, my condolences with his family, man. Really and truly, it's never nice to hear someone's gone out by them circumstances. Allegedly, I think you also said it happened via suicide. Again, I don't know. I haven't done my research, but you know, thoughts are with the family, man. It's sad, man. It's really sad. Because he can't be registered, man. Yeah, right back. If he was, I'd have a video, man. Come on. I'd have interviewed Jack Wilshere by now, but there ain't no reason to stay here and keep you lot here any longer, man. It's been 48 minutes, people. On that note, DG, I'm out. Please like the vid before you get out of here. Please check the descriptions for any likes. I mean, for my socials and whatnot. A man said for any likes. That's how you know I'm tired. I'm tired. I'm kind of vexed about the result, but it is what it is. We move, man. People, DG, I'm out. Hey, good comment, Carl, man. Love, but I'm out now for real, man.